The hotly contested District 10 seat in the City of Charleston is now in a runoff between Harry Griffin and Summer Massey. In this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I sit down with Harry Griffin one-on-one. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. Harry, it is so good to see you again, man.
Hey, third time.
I always like interviewing you, so thank you.
I like being here always with you, man.
Oh, I appreciate this. Well, let me jump into the obvious. You and Summer Massey are in the runoff.
We sure are.
And you actually said this on your Facebook page just last night. You said this quote, "What a day. We still have a lot of work to do, but I'm honored to be in the runoff on November 21st. I have 2 more weeks to win over my valued constituents. Here's my statement regarding the runoff. I have been incredibly grateful to everyone tonight. I'm excited for the next 2 weeks. Our message of not being beholden to anyone, but the voters is really resonating. What you see is what you get with me. I'm willing to call it like I see it and talk about what we all care about. We need to fix the drainage and traffic. What else should be fixed in District 10?
Well, I think that the constituents went ahead and said it last night that they're looking for new leadership. Overwhelming amount of support from both Summer and I, who offer a very different perspective than Councilman Regal. I want to say thank you to him for 8 years of service. But District 10 is moving in a new direction. We have to prioritize, the problems that we've had over and over and over again of flooding and traffic. We have to prioritize those because the way that I feel and the way that I think a lot of the constituents feel is once we fix those 2 big things, and overdevelopment is thrown in with that as well, then we can start working on some of the things that we want. But we have to first address what we need. We need to fix the flooding. It's going to cost a lot of money.
Okay.
And then we're going to have to fix the traffic. And I think the only way to do that is by completing Glen McConnell, completing 526. We have to have more access points to our community because, perfect example this morning, there's an accident on Glen McConnell, an accident on 61, an accident on 526, and an accident on I-26. What does that do? Work time, getting to work from your house, over an hour, could be an hour and a half this morning. It's ridiculous. People get fed up with it, they get tired of it. We've got to fix it.
You talk about new leadership, and a lot of things come to my mind, and people have been asking me this. Was this an anti-Dean Meikle campaign in your mind?
Not for me. It was never about anti-Dean. I never publicly bashed Dean.
Right.
I never really talked about, for me it was never a residency issue.
Right.
It was a relevancy issue. I felt like our district had lost that relevancy, especially going to council meetings and watching what happened. I think West Ashley as a whole needed a little bit of fresh blood to kind of turn the tables on, hey, we need to talk about West Ashley a little bit more. And then if you look around our entire city from the results last night, our city council is going to be dramatically changed come January. 1 seat still up in the air. I think that Summer and I still offer very different perspectives, and I'd like to go on the record as saying that I think that her and I need to have a debate between now and the runoff, because there's very specific issues, and I think both of us have different ideas of how we want to go about it. And I think that would definitely be important for people to kind of really get a good grip on where we stand moving forward. I think that will really tell the tale come the 21st.
And you talk about the Charleston City Council and how it will actually change. Tell me, and I've actually just before, how would you like to work with all of these city council members?
Well, it's going to be, I really don't know exactly how it's going to go moving forward because honestly, I think that I know that I'll work very well with Kevin. Kevin, I'm very proud of him for winning last night. I think he is West Ashley, but so am I. Miss Brennan and Miss Jackson, I think that they have a very different idea how they want Charleston to look than I do. Being a West Ashley guy for my whole life, growing up in the area, being at the Citadel, being in the trenches, I want to honor a lot of our tradition, and I do want to be progressive moving forward, but I think that we're going to have to find a happy medium with the way that we want our city to look, and every area is different. I do appreciate their sentiment on how you want to take a different approach with James Island than you do West Ashley. But I think the most important thing is this: at our last council meeting, James Island council members had dialogue with other council members about getting James Island $100 million in flood relief. Why didn't our West Ashley representation get to the punch on that first? As bad as we need it with the drainage study that's getting ready to come out,
right,
we're going to need that money so badly in West Ashley. And that's what I'm saying. We have to make sure our representation is looking out for us, and we've got to make sure that they're vocal. Every council meeting, our West Ashley representation should be bringing us up, should make us feel like, you know, they have our backs. And honestly, if I win this race on the 21st, I'm going to have 15,000 bosses, my constituents, and I will do whatever it takes to make them feel that they have a sense of security with who represents them.
And let's talk more about the constituents, because you've known them for most of your life, and you've actually knocked on the doors and talked to them. When you think of them, what sticks out to you?
Well, they're frustrated and they're angry with what's happened in the past. You know, a lot of them didn't really know Dean on a personal level. I think that needs to change. I'm a very outgoing guy.
Right.
I put my phone number out there.
Right.
I put my address out there. I want people to come knock on my door. I want people to call me and say, "Come over, let's talk." I think those chats in the living rooms, they are actually very beneficial. That they allow you to connect with your constituents and get a feel. Because what I've always said, and what I'll continue to say, is if you feel the pain that they felt in the bad times, and you feel the joy that they felt in the good times, you get a great perspective of what it needs to look like going forward. You have that direct leadership, and that's what municipal government is all about. You're talking about your neighbors, and so you feel it when they feel it.
Wow. And you also said this: we need this youth right now because I represent the ambition and I represent a new look on District 10. I'm going to get out here and work, and that's what you told Channel 4 recently. Tell me, how's your ambition right now?
I'm very ambitious, but honestly, my ambition means that I am going to work my tail off for the next 2 weeks. Because you know what? There was a couple of precincts that I didn't do too well in. I've got to pinpoint those locations and find out where I wasn't able to connect with certain people. I did well in other precincts, and I have to get that apathy to get people to come back out and vote again. Because that's a tough thing to ask somebody to turn right around and take time out and come and vote again. But if they really believe in your mission and your goal and that fresh look that I think I represent, not only fresh in my youth and the amount of energy I have, but my fresh ideas moving forward. If I can really get the people to respond to my message, I know that we'll come out and vote again. But I have to go back and hit every door again. I've got to go back and call everybody I can. We've got to get a record turnout in this runoff.
If I were to pick up a magazine, Charleston Magazine, and you were on the front cover, who would you describe as really Harry Griffin, the person?
Well, I think he's hardworking. He's always going to put his constituents first.
Okay.
He is always that message that Mayor Tecklenburg, said about quality of life. I think that I represent the best quality of life because I will always put my constituents first. I've got a 4-year-old brother that lives in this district. Right. He has to have that wondrous childhood that I had. And we have a lot of senior citizens in our district too. They're in their glory years. They shouldn't have to be out fighting like they are. It saddens me. So I want to be remembered as somebody who fought for the people. That's always going to be me. I'm willing to fight. I'm willing to work, whatever it takes to make us relevant moving forward.
Harry Griffin, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
Thank you, Quintin.
Thank you.